This one just might be my favorite one. The shape tool is so awesome in Pages. So I like using the right tool for the job. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't know. I like doing things in Google. I like doing things in Google too. But let me tell you what Google doesn't have. Doesn't have Pages shape tool. Shape tool in Pages is like by far the best, and it's why I like using Pages, Numbers, and Keynote as creation tools, because there's already so many shapes to choose from, and not only are there a lot there, you can change them, you can manipulate them, you can draw your own shapes. There's lots and lots that you can do with the shape tool. In fact, sometimes I'll even create my shape in Pages or Keynote, copy it, and then paste it into the Google thing that I'm doing, because I can't always get the shape I'm wanting in the Google Apps. So let's dive into the shape tool. Okay, so I'm gonna just delete this document. I'm not gonna use that. Do I want it? Nope, delete. Okay, so I already have a document open. If you don't, you just wanna open up Pages and choose a blank document. So you could do File, New. You could just choose Basic, Blank, Create. If you're just getting started here, you want to make sure that you convert this to page layout. So go to File, Convert to Page Layout, Convert. Okay, so now I'm ready. I don't have a blinking cursor, so I know that I'm ready to do more of a design instead of a paper. All right, so up at the top of your menu bar here, or not menu bar, at the top of your Pages toolbar, you've got this thing called Shape. See it? It's so good. Okay, so when you go to Shape, you're going to see that you have a bunch of categories. And you can scroll through these and search for things as well. Or, you can go directly to the category and look for things, or you can search. That was my dog groaning. Stanley. He's so sleepy. Okay, so you can search for something and then find that thing and drag it into your document. So let's say you're planning a baby shower and you want to create an invitation. You can do that by just adding a shape. I'm going to show you the America one because I think this one is so cool. So I'm going to add America into my document here. And I'm just using my mouse to drag it. If you grab the bottom right corner and hold the shift key at the same time, you'll resize the shape without making it go all out of whack. If you want to, you can also click Arrange and make sure that this Constrain Proportions box is checked, and it won't get out of whack when you resize it. Okay, so I've got the United States of America in here, and you're like, yeah, okay, it's a map, but look at this. You can right-click on your map and break it apart. And then all of the states become their own shapes. So you can click on a shape, go to Style, and make it a different color. Or sometimes what I will do is I will select, I'll move, I use Missouri a lot, obviously, so I'll move that out and select all these other things by just dragging my mouse across them and then hit delete, and then I've got this just one shape that I can use to do something, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to use Command Z as a keyboard shortcut on my keypad right now to undo, where you can always go to Edit, Undo. And by the way, you will want to probably learn some keyboard shortcuts for the things you find yourself doing a lot. So I find myself undoing the thing I just did a lot because I'll screw it up and be like, Command Z. And so Command Z is just one of those keyboard shortcuts that I learned because I used it so much. Another one that I use a lot is duplicate. So if I go to click, edit. Yeah, duplicate selection. I use this a lot, Command D. So I'll show you what that does here in a second. Anyway, I've got my shape. I want to undo and get my America back. So I'm just going to hit Command Z until I get back to good. So I'm going to pull a different state out. Let's see. Let's do Texas. I'm going to pull Texas out, and I'm going to select all of those and get rid of them. Now I've got Texas. So here's the other thing I love about Pages is if you're signed into iCloud on your device, which you should be, you can go in System Preferences and look in your Apple ID. Then you can save your shapes that you make that are custom. So like this Texas shape, I've kind of customized it. And if I want to save it, I can right click on it and I can say save to my shapes. And then the next time I need Texas, I can just search for it in Texas and grab it. So you can see that I have some custom shapes in here of things I've drawn or things I've used or created. So I've got the Maryville logo, a hand, an iPad. Like these are shapes that I've just added from things. So now the next time I need Texas, all I have to do is search and I can just add Texas. I don't have to get America again, right? So anyway, that's kind of cool. I'm going to delete that one and add a different shape here. I'm going to look for lipstick. Okay. Here's my lipstick. Let's say I want to make this shape look a little bit more realistic. What I would do is like right click the shape and break it apart. And now I can click the lipstick part and make it a color. And I can click the case of the lipstick and make it a different color. And then if I want to group those back together, I can just drag my mouse across the two shapes. And I can right click and group them back together. Or you can go to Arrange, and that's where you can group them. The Arrange pane of this formatting palette here, it allows you to mess with things like text wrapping, layering, backward, forward motions. You can actually manipulate the width, height and width of something to be an exact size if you need to. You can rotate something, so you can actually rotate things. Flip them, lock them, group them, do a lot of things. So if you select them, you can group that way. And now I can resize this and drag it, move it around if I want to rotate it. Whatever. So that's another example of how to use the shapes. It's even possible to remove shapes if you needed to, but I won't get into that. Let's say you needed to just do a basic diagram. Then you could just grab some shapes, pull them in. Now here, let's say I want 3 of these rounded rectangles. I could just use Command D as my keyboard shortcut and just get 3 of them really quickly. If I needed 6, I could select these 3 and duplicate those, and now I have 6. So it's really easy to make several of something if you're using the duplicate feature. Then if I wanted to select, 3 of them and go to style and make them a color, I can. Now these 6 colors that you see here are kind of the default ones on any blank document. But it is possible to go to the next page and actually add styles. So if you wanted to create custom styles, you can do that. Also, what you may notice is that some of these all may be collapsed. So you have the ability to customize your fill colors. You can do borders, shadows, reflections, opacities, all kinds of things in here. So I would encourage you to play around with those. I'll go into that in more depth in a different video. But if you click style, you can fuss with all of this stuff and customize how everything looks. You can also connect shapes together. If you wanted to connect these, you could select this rectangle, hold down the Shift key, select a second shape, and then when you right click, you can add a connection line. And that connection line leaves things connected even when you move them around. And you can customize the style of that line too if you wanted to, but I'm going to go into customizing your styles in a different video. But basically, the shape tool is awesome. You can save shapes, create all kinds of things. You can also use this pen tool to draw your own shapes. Different video, but super cool how that one works.